Alright, this video is for my third block class for October 25th, 2016. I am on a field trip with my fourth block class today. So this video will run you through what you need to do and complete. So you'll see here the rundown. Students should go to the following website for instructions. Obviously this website has been given to you. I'm going to make a tiny URL after I upload this video. So that will be up there on the board. You're watching this video so you know what the instructions are. Handouts that you're going to need. So the timeline from Friday, if you were not here on Friday and you did not get this timeline, you need to get that from the sub. The second handout that you will need is the Comparing Strengths and Weaknesses handout. The third handout that you will need is the Revolutionary War, Key Events and People. This is actually a 2-page handout, so you will also need this sheet right here that's asking you to put things in chronological order. This is part 3, so this is a 3-part handout. And then last but not least, you will need a checklist of completed assignments, this right here. So for every step of the way that you're doing these assignments, you will need to get a signature from the sub. It says that each assignment or each signature is worth 10 points. You must turn in this checklist to the end of class with the sub to receive credit. No exceptions. Make sure that your name is on it so you can get credit as well. Alright, so what's the process and what's the order for these assignments? Number 1. We finished up on Friday the timeline activity, taking the events from 1764 to 1775, and so you should complete the check for understanding questions for the timeline. This is right here. These questions are found on my blog, so if you need to go back and look at them, just go to my blog. It's the assignment that is labeled under the post chronological thinking assignment. If you go to the text instructions, you'll be able to pull up that Google Slides, and it's these questions right here. You do not need to write the questions out. You just need to answer the questions in complete sentences, turn it in, and once you turn it in, get a signature from the sub. Alright, the next step of the sub plan, comparing strengths and weaknesses. That's this handout right here. It's really critical that you read this set of instructions at the very top so you know what to do. Read every step of the way. If you don't understand it, read it again, and then you might have to read it a third time. But if you break down the instructions and you take your time and you read them, you should be able to understand what it's asking you to do. Just make sure that you do not skip any steps. Alright, once you're done with this handout, it says check for understanding questions. These go in your daily questions notebook. So once again, you go to the same Google Slides video for the chronological thinking, and it's the slide right after the timeline questions. So daily question number, comparing strengths and weaknesses, check for understanding. You do have to write out the question and answer these questions in your notebook. Once you're done with that, you want to show the sub that you have written the questions out and answer the questions, and then get the signature. Alright, then you should be on to the last one, Revolutionary War, Key Events and People. So that's this handout right here. The first part, it says read the following passage about key points of the Revolutionary War. Part 2 is matching. Connect each person and group with the letter on the other side. So you can write on this number 1 and the letter number 2, so on and so forth. You can use your textbook, chapter 4, section 2. It is chapter 4, section 3, and maybe even chapter 4, section 4. It's this textbook right here. You can also use your phone and the internet to get these answers. Alright, and the last part for the handout, Key Events and People, part 3, alright, right here, it's putting things in order. I went through and I was able to find all of the events in either Chapter 4, Section 2, Chapter 4, Section 3, or Chapter 4, Section 4 in the textbook, except for Colonial Forces led by Ethan Allen and Benedict Arnold. That one right there. That one you have to use a handout for. And then American troops invade Canada near the bottom. That one you can find on the handout. You might be able to find all of them in the handout, but if you're struggling with some dates, use the textbook. Once again, once you're done with that, you want to get that signature. So what are you turning in at the end of class today? You're turning in the check for understanding questions for the timeline, and you're turning in this sheet right there. You're only turning in two things: the check for understanding questions for the timeline that we completed on Friday. That's the very first thing that you need to do. And then you are turning in the signature sheet. The comparing strengths and weaknesses, the handout, and the check for understanding questions go in your daily question notebook, and the Revolutionary War, key events and people go in your daily question notebook. Once you get done with that, one thing to remember is that on the 27th, your flashcards are due, and you will have a vocab quiz on those flashcards. You can find those flashcards if you go to my blog. You go to Unit 2 Schedule, click on this, click on the flashcards link right here, alright, and it will bring you to the vocab terms. On this, it also says it has instructions, it has a rubric, it has everything that you need to be able to get the max amount of points for your flashcards. You also might want to start thinking about these two events or these two assignments here: Soundtrack of a Revolution and Artwork of the Revolution. Remember, you only need to choose one to do for the classwork assignment. They're due on November 3rd, but it's would be wise of you to check the assignment, read through the assignment, so that way you can ask me any questions before the assignment is actually due. Remember, the biggest thing is if you're having any problems, if you run into any unforeseen obstacles, that communication is key. So if you have any questions, please go to my blog. I have my email address on there. Please email me, and I would be a lot more understanding of what your situation is, rather than if you just don't tell me anything and wait until Thursday. I will compare what you've said to what the sub-report says, and I'll make a decision on that. But I really think that it's not crazy for me to think that you can get these 3 assignments done. You should be able to get them done. The expectation is that you have them done and you have everything that you need to turn in, which is the check for understanding questions for the timeline, and this, all right, completed and turned in to me by the end of class. And that way I have it in my possession and I can hand it back to you on Thursday. Thanks and best of luck.